So friends, thoughts create reality is a foundational aspect of manifestation. I wanted to share a small presentation to look at how what do you see on the screen? You create your own reality?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's look at some of the famous people, what they're saying about this thoughts create reality. So Mahatma Gandhi, all of them have been very successful. They believed in a principle and we're applying that principle. So we're, of course, going to learn through science too, but let's understand. And if so many, they believe in the principle, man is but a product of his thoughts. What he thinks he becomes. Einstein, imagination, you consider that as imagination. Imagination is full of thought, right? Is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited, but imagination embraces the entire world. So he is essentially advocating dreaming imagination. In fact, Einstein is considered one of the greatest person of mind explorer. If he utilized this practice of the mind significantly in bringing out these various various inventions that he did. Henry Ford, very successful. If you can think you can do a thing or you think you can't do a thing, you're still right. Depends on how you think about it. I can't do. And because that's what is manifesting. Napoleon Hill, whatever the mind can conceive, believe it can achieve. So this is Walt Disney, my favorite. If you can dream it, you can do it. It can't get any simpler than that. If you can dream it, you can do it. We had kept this poster always wanting our children to see this all the time, and then we see it all the time. So it is just putting everything, all the creation, under the dreaming process. You dream about it. Gautama Buddha, what you dwell upon is what you become. So if you say, I am getting enlightened, I am getting revealed of the cosmic truths, I am knowing more about myself, the more you put your attention on it, what you dwell upon is what you become. It can be anything, right? Doesn't matter what it is. Adi Shankaracharya, who is the strong proponent of meditation, there are two people from Hindu philosophy, Adi Shankaracharya and Patanjali, who have enormously worked for meditation. And Adi Shankaracharya said what? Whatever person mind dwells on intensely and with firm resolve, that's exactly what he becomes. He said it a little more elaborately. Esther Hicks, she is a great master, who is spiritual master, who's written and then advocated the concept of law of attraction for years now, right? Anybody, manifestation science means definitely you are reading the wisdom from this master, right? Esther Hicks. Anything that you give your attention to will become your truth. It's even more powerful. What you give attention to is what becomes truth. You say these people are not nice to me, that is becoming your truth. You say that I am succeeding in my business, that's your truth. You say that I am constantly a failure, I cannot do these things and I cannot go forward in my life, then that's what becomes your truth. And so that's what you live off. So everything that you're experiencing is a reflection of the predominance of your thoughts. There is no exception to this. Van Dyer is another inspirational spiritual master. He's saying you see it when you believe it. If you really believe it, that it is happening, then you see it physically. Bruce Lipton, more recently, he's a bioscientist, is saying your thoughts shape your reality. Bruce Lipton, a bioscientist. And then Dr. Joe Dispenza, your personality creates your personal reality, and what's your personality is made up of how you act, how you think, and how you feel. So friends, thoughts create reality is been believed by many successful people. Now, many have known about it, they applied it, many did not know, but still they've always had one thing, successful leaders, that they dreamt of what they wanted to do. They did not know that dreaming is creating, but they're just dreaming about it. They dreamt that I am growing my business, I am creating this for me. And that is a common trait for particularly successful business leaders, is that no matter what your current situation is, they have kept dreaming. And that's exactly nothing but the Newtonian, the quantum model of creation. There are two models, Newtonian model and quantum model. The quantum model of creation is saying that independent of your current circumstance, you continue to put your attention on what you want, and then that manifests. So successful leaders, if you see businesses that flourish, and then you study, and then they all are not get perturbed by the adversities today, but then they continuously dream, or continuously stay there, put their attention on the longer term aspect of it. Putting on short-term current means that you are in the Newtonian model, you are trying to react to what's happening. Whereas having that ability to put your attention onto the longer term is equally and more important. And so they do that. And so you continue to grow, continue to create and evolve. And so thoughts create reality is fundamental. Now, how is this happening? Through scientifically, to understand it, I came across this concepts in the year 2013-14 when I attended a workshop by Amit Goswami, Dr. Amit Goswami. Thoughts create reality is always there. Patrizi is always telling. And the various masters that I'm meeting always are telling. But scientifically to understand, so I attended a session of Dr. Amit Goswami's quantum physics. Then he was talking about, at that time, it's a lecture, he was talking about this quantum field. And he said electrons are particles, but then they're also waves. And he was saying all these particles, like electrons, when they come together, they have waves, they have an energy field around them. So when they come together, they collide first in the energy field, not physically. Electrons, which are the smallest component in matter, of course, now quanta is there, but then electrons are the smallest component, and then he said they have an energy field around them because they're waves, so that means they're energy. And they said when two electrons come together, they collide with each other, and they collide not physically first for a chemical reaction, instead they collide at the energy field. So the energy fields, they said, are colliding and they're influencing one with the other. Now he was talking about the energy field is having information and messages, and the information is essentially coming from our thoughts. He was talking about that. So information is exchanged when these electrons collide. So that was an eye-opener for me that, okay, so then he went about talking about the experimentation that is done by the quantum physicists now since the 1915 to now, over 100 years of research. Experimentation that are done to say that those electrons, even though they show as energy, as waves, they become particles when you want to see them. They become particles when you want to see them. So in that session, he was talking about Somebody releasing an electron in a room, let's say a room is full, it's empty room, you release one electron, and it's trying to demonstrate a God particle. God, when you say, where is God? We always say, oh, God exists everywhere. That consciousness exists everywhere, right? It's not just in one place. Gone are the days to say that it is only in the statue. It's not there. I mean, statue is just one part of where the God is, but the God is there, and the consciousness is there everywhere. So that electron, when you release into a room, it is behaving like an energy, so it is there everywhere, because energy is invisible. Just a wave is there everywhere. But when you observe and say, oh, where did it go? It must be this side, so then it starts showing up there. It is this side showing up there, this side. So it is there everywhere. The notion of consciousness or the God existing everywhere, it is there everywhere, but it shows up where you see that it is here, then you see it, it is there. So he was trying to explain, so then I stumbled upon further started reading his book, Self-Aware Universe. Is a beautiful book that sort of helps us into explore and say, what is this consciousness? And trying to explain that the consciousness exists everywhere, God exists everywhere, but shows up where you want to see. If I see Godhood in Manjula, then I see that Manjula Madam, then I see that God exists there in her. So later I came across this book by Dr. Joe Dispenza, You Are the Placebo. So things started becoming more and more clear when I read this book about connecting the quantum physics, quantum field, quantum science explanation of what consciousness is and how things are getting created, and then connect that with neuroscience of how the brain is working, of our thoughts and of our beliefs, the environment which conditions our body. And so the neuroscience model of how our thoughts, our brain is working around these thoughts and beliefs, what does it mean to be there? And so connect these to neuroscience and quantum physics, then became beautifully clear to me that our thoughts create reality in the a scientific process that's happening. So let's understand from a quantum physics perspective how it is explaining the consciousness or everything that exists out there. Let's understand from a quantum physics perspective. What do you got here? Yes. Thoughts create things. So Niels Bohr, very early on, somewhere in 1920s, everything we call real is made up of things that cannot be regarded as real. Because the quantum physics have figured out long ago that whatever that we think is solid matter, real stuff is not real, because they see, where you see matter, they see that there is all energy vibration. Because this matter that we have, these atoms, they're all vibrating 6 to 8 times. They become matter, they become energy. Matter, energy, 6 to 8 times a second. So just like a light bulb, right? It's flickering. You know, the light, what we see, if you see, look at the technology behind, it's a continuous light that we see in the room, but in reality, it's actually flickering. It's flickering at a rate that our naked eye cannot see it. And so we think it's continuous light, but it is going off and on, off and on. So same way, the body, the matter that we have, the body that is there, or everything that is there is also becoming energy and matter at a micro subatomic particle level. But the naked eye cannot see it. So we constantly see, because we're trained to see the solid matter, we constantly see matter. So everything what we call real is made up of things cannot be regarded as real because it's all energy and showing up as matter at times and becoming energy back again. So the three principles that quantum physics said are that we are less matter, more energy. There are many more from the quantum physics, but there are three core principles we talk about. We are less matter, more energy. It means our body is less matter, more energy. Second, we are unlimited possibilities and potential. That means there is any amount of possibility that are potential. That means an experience. Possibility or potential is equal to an experience of life. There's unlimited of that. And our observation manifests this possibility. There are three statements from the quantum physics perspective. So looking at this little more deeply, and most certainly all the newcomers, for the first timers that are looking at it, I was deeply surprised when I read the statement that an atom is 99.99% empty. When I read this statement, it was like goosebumps for me, that quantum field of energy where everything that we are experiencing is around us, inside us, everything is big energy field. But the way they construct it is that if you look at our body is made up of so many organs, and each of these organs, ultimately, organs are full of cells, skin cells, liver cells, neurons, which is in the brain, blood cells, right? There are various cells are there, and the cells are finally made up of atoms, because cells have molecules, and molecules are made up of atoms. They're the lowest substance. So the atoms, when they looked at deep inside, what you see on the left side bottom picture, they found that it is really empty. If you round that number, because it's so difficult to say that number, you round it and it becomes 100%. So they said an atom, whatever that we always thought, and what is an atom? We always thought an atom is like a marble, like a particle. That means it is solid. What we thought an atom is a solid, like, if I say this remote, it is solid. This remote is solid. A fan remote is solid. That's how it appears to me, feels to me. But we constructed, decoded, open it and see inside, all of it is empty. That much, 99.99% is empty. That mass is only that tiny bit, which is 0.01%, is there, but everything else, we go into the subatomic particle level, is emptiness that is there. So it is all empty. Empty means it's like energy, emptiness. Then what is they saw the emptiness is filled with energy. Energy is like wave. Energy means it's a wave. Everything wave is considered energy, radiomagnetic waves, electromagnetic waves, X-rays, those are also waves, that's energy. Everything that is a wave is energy, and with no boundaries. So it continuously goes on and on and on from one place to place until it dies down and transforms into some other energy. So this emptiness that is there is full of energy, and so it's like a wave. So the first discovery is that atom is empty. That means we in our body are totally empty. Everything that experience material is all empty. Empty is full of energy, and energy is nothing but waves. So they are going everywhere. This room is full of energy waves of various objects, of myself here. Now these waves of me are going into the other room, to you, to everybody on the other side of the cross of Pacific, where all are the energy waves are traversing and they're connected to each other. The waves go, my waves go, your waves come, and then they come collide somewhere. So the energy waves that are there are going around, and they're all colliding with each other, or the other way to say, they're all connecting with each other. So I am empty, you are empty first, and that emptiness is waves, energy, so that your energy is traveling all around, my energy and vibration is traveling all around, and they're all are getting connected. So it is a big field of energy waves. That is the quantum energy field we're talking, where fundamentally, we are deep inside, we are this energy field where you, me, all the objects, all the animals, the trees, plants, the universe, everything is connected. It is not just on the earth, it is the entire universe, everything is connected. We're going to end this in about 10 minutes. Stay with me on this. So first of all, we have this deep, big energy field, fully interconnected with each other. And second statement is that we are emptiness in our body, filled with energy, and that energy is becoming matter, going back as energy and matter, oscillating 6 to 8 times per second, oscillating. Now, how is it becoming matter? It is becoming matter with observation. When observed, a subatomic particle is becoming matter. When you observe it. So this is the experiments they have done. Now, observation becoming matter, we can talk about it, right? If you take a business, you're starting a product, you want to set up something, right? Where does it start? It starts originally with as an idea, isn't it? Somewhere it starts as an idea, somewhere in your mind, discussion with your friend, or while you're in a conference, you review and read, suddenly an idea pops up. So then it starts with there, right? An observation starts with, so first it starts with a thought. Then you talk about it, you think about it, you contemplate, you read. That means you're increasing your attention on it, right? And slowly it concretize the ideas, and then you're somewhere going, and then that one thing leads to the another. So as it becomes stronger in your mind, as it becomes stronger in your heart, that yes, this is like an eureka idea, I must go and then do this. And then so you actually now take the next step, which is sort of causing you to go and take the next step of potentially hiring somebody, and then start working on it and developing it. When you start observing on something, it becomes matter, which you know it. So you set up your business, and then you start the intensity, then you're coming together, so working 18 hours because you have so much intensity, so much feeling, interest is there. Interest is nothing but a feeling and a passion, right? There is an immense amount of thought, immense amount of feeling. So intensity, you're coming in, so automatically driving you to do some action. You are motivating people around you to do that action. So you come together, you do it, you produce it. Then you get lots of satisfaction. So you're doing, now you continue to put, then it keeps growing, you put your attention, it keeps growing and growing, and your business grows, right? And then somewhere after doing enough times, then you feel like, okay, I've done enough of it. So that's the time you start taking your attention off it. You want to step aside. You start taking your attention off it. As you start taking attention off, and if you did not pass on the baton to somebody else, and you still be in that seat of being in charge for the driver for the business, but you're taking your attention off, then suddenly you see the business starts going down. Many times when, for various reasons, we take our attention off, the business goes away. This is where the founders, typically, when their attention is waning, then immediately bring in a new CEO and then go away. You must bring in a new CEO rather than trying to pursue and push it without having that interest. Because when you don't have that interest, that feeling is not there, you're not able to give adequate energy to it. We did not know it, but that's what happens. So when you withdraw your attention, that business, if it's not set to attended to by somebody else, then it goes down, because slowly it starts crumbling down. You lose your market, you lose things, you lose your people, and then slowly it disappears, right? We know it, we've seen it. From attention, things get created. When you withdraw attention, things go away. That's it, it's the same principle. But scientifically, it is happening like this. The energy, everything is energy. That energy is there, and when I observe it, that subatomic particle is becoming a matter, is what they found in quantum physics. And how is that happening? So let's watch this video, it's important. A few 4-minute video. Let's see, I think I need to reshare it.
And here we are, the granddaddy of all quantum weirdness, the infamous double slit experiment. To understand this experiment, we first need to see how particles, or little balls of matter, act. If we randomly shoot a small object, say a marble, at the screen, we see a pattern on the back wall where they went through the slit and hit. Now, if we add a second slit, we would expect to see a second band duplicated to the right. Now, let's look at waves. The waves hit the slit and radiate out, striking the back wall with the most intensity directly in line with the slit. The line of brightness on the back screen shows that intensity. This is similar to the line the marbles make. But when we add the second slit, something different happens. If the top of one wave meets the bottom of another wave, they cancel each other out. So now there is an interference pattern on the back wall. Places where the two tops meet are the highest intensity, the bright lines, and where they cancel, there is nothing. So, when we throw things, that is, matter, through two slits, we get this, two bands of hits. And with waves, we get an interference pattern of many bands. Good so far. Now, let's go quantum. An electron is a tiny, tiny bit of matter, like a tiny marble. Let's fire a stream through one slit. It behaves just like the marble, a single band. So, if we shoot these tiny bits through two slits, we should get, like the marbles, two bands. What? An interference pattern. We fired electrons, tiny bits of matter through. But we get a pattern like waves, not like little marbles. How? How could pieces of matter create an interference pattern like a wave? It doesn't make sense. But physicists are clever. They thought, maybe those little balls are bouncing off each other and creating that pattern. So, they decide to shoot electrons through one at a time. There is no way they could interfere with each other. But after an hour of this, the same interference pattern is seen to emerge. The conclusion is inescapable. The single electron leaves as a particle, becomes a wave of potentials, goes through both slits, and interferes with itself to hit the wall like a particle. But mathematically, it's even stranger. It goes through both slits, and it goes through neither. And it goes through just one, and it goes through just the other. All of these possibilities are in superposition with each other. But physicists were completely baffled by this. So they decided to peek and see which slit it actually goes through. They put a measuring device by one slit to see which one it went through and let it fly. But the quantum world is far more mysterious than they could have imagined. When they observed, the electron went back to behaving like a little marble. It produced a pattern of two bands, not an interference pattern of many. The very act of measuring or observing which slit it went through meant it only went through one, not both. The electron decided to act differently, as though it was aware it was being watched. And it was here that physicists stepped forever into the strange netherworld of quantum events. What is matter? Marbles or waves? And waves of what? And what does an observer have to do with any of this? The observer collapsed the wave function simply by observing.
So friends, that experiment, this video is by Fred Allen Wolf, Dr. Fred Allen Wolf, a quantum physicist. If you search in YouTube Dr. Fred Alan Wolf, you will find this video. Simplifies a complex quantum experiment to demonstrate that our observation, when they put an electronic observer to determine and say, where is this electron going? And that observer is expecting that electron to be seen on that screen there as a particle. So then it starts showing up as a particle without becoming a wave. But when it is left unnoticed, it is actually going as a wave of possibilities. A wave means it is there spread everywhere as energy. So it goes through both the slits and then it interfaces with each other and you form these bands. So one is that your observation collapses that possibility. That they observed an electron and it showed up as a physical particle. The second thing that we learn from this is that waves collide with each other. If a thought is an energy wave, the feeling is an energy wave, because everything is an experience, everything is translating to a thought is energy wave. Now the waves collide each other and they cancel each other. Depending on, they cancel or they become stronger. The staggered waves, they cancel. They superimposed waves, they become bigger. It's like sea waves. Now, when you see a wave coming to the shore, when you think that wave, oh, it's coming, it's bigger, bigger, bigger. Those of you who went into the beach and played for some time, they know that, oh, this time it's going to be really big wave. And just when you think it's bigger, it gets canceled out, because then opposite side from the shore, the wave that is going backwards and then hits it, cancels it, and then weakens. You experience it, right? A lot of times we experience what we think it's going to be big, it becomes small because it cancels. But sometimes we think it's small. This is where the surprise happens. Oh, this is small wave only. But then there is another one that is coming behind, I don't know, something that caught up with it, and then suddenly it becomes a big wave. You don't expect it. By the time it reaches, it becomes big. So cancellation of the waves are superimposed, they become bigger. Both are possible. Exactly how you want to see our thoughts are patterns. And a thought that you want to create and grow your business on one side is a wave with a splitting energy pattern. And thought that says that, okay, I'm going to be a failure in this time also is another wave pattern. Now both are going in and canceling. Or the one that is a higher intensity, which are higher intensity dominates. And as a result, so the manifestation also slows down, because ultimately everything is energy to matter. So now every physical event is an appearance of pattern of subatomic particles. So now what you saw here, the electron is coming, single electron, observe, it becomes matter. Now you take an experience of attending this workshop, an experience of you doing, let's say, an event in the weekend with a set of people, or you just simply cooking. So that experience of cooking involved what? Involved those vessels, your stove, then perhaps talking to your spouse about how to make that recipe, or somebody somewhere, and all of their energies are involved first. That means all of their atoms are involved, right? No, everything is an energy pattern first. That energy pattern, when you continue to observe it, becomes matter. So the person whom you spoke to, the book that you referred to, the YouTube video you saw, and then the vessels you use, the kitchen, the environment, and yourself, everybody is at deep inside their energy. So there is an energy pattern for them, particle energy pattern. All of this, you put it all together, is one big energy pattern. And that is observed by you, your observation. And so all of that came together as a material experience, is how we want to see it. Every physical event is an appearance of a pattern of subatomic particles influenced by your observation. Now, your observation is your thoughts and feelings of that experience. How intensely you wanted to have it is how intensely it happens for us. So we want to conclude a focused mind, something that we can observe continuously, then it can manifest matter. That means it creates your life experiences. And meditation is developing the right one-pointed mind or the focused mind. Meditation is helping us put our attention on it. That's what we're doing every day. 90,000 thoughts, 50 to 70,000 thoughts, and that 90% unwanted. distract our attention, going into things that we don't want. Yes, okay, it's an argument. Yes, we failed one side. Yes, somebody we lost in our life. And we go on putting our attention on the same experience again and again. And so then we create that. So in meditation, making a single point, focus minded and detached from past experience so that you can stay focused on what you want. And quantum model is saying that if everything is energy patterns, it has nothing to do with what your past is. It's an energy patterns. And from that energy patterns, you pick a possibility combination. We are all energy patterns, you are energy patterns. So mix and match of any 2, any 3, any 10, any 15, any 100 people come together, have an experience is possible. So because everything is a possibility combination. So quantum modeling is just picking a possibility from it. It's like a restaurant has got menu of 100 dishes. You can take anything, any combination. Nobody stops you from doing it. It's only about energy. Your money is energy. How much money you have, how much time you have, how much appetite you have. So based on your time and money is where you're ordering something, and you can have any combination. It's like that. The field is an infinite possibility experiences. You can pick any combination if you put adequate energy onto it. Right, one point minded. So dear friends, I want to start this. So meditation is when we are regularly meditating, we are becoming first one point minded, single point minded. So as we become single point minded, so we are able to focus in a wakeful time on things that we really want. Now, another thing happening in meditation is that when your mind is becoming empty, we're losing the sense of matter. And so when you lose the sense of matter, we start experiencing what is innately inside, as that experiment we saw, when you withdraw our attention, because every thought is on matter. So when you take it out, then we're experiencing this energy field. So on one side, you're developing single point minded during wakeful time because unwanted thought has gone away. And then during meditative time, where you forget yourself, you forget about this matter, then you're becoming one with this energy field. So you are in the energy field. So you are in the field, you become of that field. You are operating as that field, as if everything. Now, the moment you are an energy field, everything is with you, everything is inside you because you are connected, right? Everything is connected. So those possibilities I talked about, all the experiences that are with you inside you, because you are an energy field by yourself. So when something is inside you, it's easy to take it. That's it. When something is inside you, it is easy to take it. I have coins in my pocket. I have gold, silver, and many things are there. It is there with me, then I can take it. If it's there outside me, then I have to search for it. So that's why when we are in this quantum field, we start having the power to access it. And how do we access it? It is our intuition. It is the ability to say, where is what I want? And then we take it. So we learn today that our thoughts create reality, scientifically understand how quantum physics is demonstrating it, and what meditation is doing, making us single point minded, making us access that unlimited possibility field. And so with that understanding, we'll see, becoming single point minded, how we can apply some neuroscience principles in the rest of the week to be that, to utilize that power that we're getting a single point minded person. Thank you very much.